Hi, welcome to Selfseeds. Well, Claire and I are starting out our ride, and I'm curious to see what happened from yesterday. We had the black dog that we're just passing by on the left chase us, and we had the new construction on the far side of the arena. So I'm going to really be curious again, learning every single day that I swing a leg over the horse. What are they thinking, reacting? Am I being effective in supporting their mind, their body, and their spirit? It's only about trying to empower them to be able to be safe and comfortable and effective inside of their role as a riding horse. So again, it's interesting. The next day, a lot of times, is the real truth. Okay, so the truck on the left with the drag, little different spot. No problem there. We're going by our training ladder. Okay, so far so good. And now as we're going to round the corner to come by where all the construction was going on yesterday, Justin had the drill out, he was moving large boards, and again, all of the construction was new. So let's see how Claire does with all of that. Oh, today we have the bobcat in a different position, so a little different obstacle course going on there. The minis are off to the left. Oh, look at this. She's just taking it all in. Yesterday at the end of the ride, I'm going to take a moment today to just let her touch the bobcat. Like I said, yesterday I started with, can I manage her feet? How is she developing? Listening to me. Another container is stopping and letting the horse look at what it's afraid of. To me, that's the first container. The ability to keep riding by something in a controlled, positive way is a second part. But today she's getting an A for absorbing her environment from yesterday, and I'm just going to add to that by when I stopped and I let her take a look at the bobcat. So now we'll continue on in our work. And again, one more time, we'll go by the dog. It's also a teaching for the dog. That was really bad behavior of the ranch dog to chase her yesterday. I mean, those are the kind of things that if it had been maybe a different horse and a different rider, could really be an unsafe situation. As a trainer of the horse, I invite opportunities to problem solve and to work with the horse. But those kind of moments can have very bad outcomes if in the wrong situation. Okay, everything's going well. Well, I really wanted to be fair to Claire and, of course, have a positive result with the walking, so that went well. So now I'm off to trotting. There's something in the action of the trotting, sometimes as riders we think, why can't they just get all that sorted out even if we're walking? And it's like, I've noticed with horses over the years, when you change speed, whether it's the way their excitement is in their body or the way their eyes see things differently when you're moving the trot or the canter or the lope, I find every small change requires a learning and an adaptation. I know from my own dance experience, standing, listening, creating movement in place obviously is very different than moving slowly, and very different again moving in the rhythm and the timing of the music and on time of the music, and still coordinated and fluid and present and sensing and stepping and all the things of ballroom dancing. So I guess again, it's no surprise that every sequence change is something that the horse is learning. So now we're trotting by. Oops, we got the little dog, and we have her watering the ground. Okay, I'm going to turn. She's great about all the obstacle there. Now, I haven't gone by the obstacles in this angle, and I'm going to open a gate. First time I've opened a gate on Claire. Now, she knows about opening gates from the ground, but I haven't asked Claire to be part of me opening a gate. A lot of times we just leave them open. So that was great, using all the training in that moment. to move off my leg, to listen to my seat, the rain aids. I'm letting her look at everything a little bit. I haven't really ridden her a lot in the arena, so this becomes its own trail ride. I call trail riding, it's like an geometric trail ride when I'm in the arena, is now I'm going along the edges. So now again, everything's on the left side, on her left eye, going by the big container. Oh, there's a black dog again. No problem. Now I'm going by the ladder on my left side. No problem. She's doing awesome. I love this because, again, I don't spend a lot of time at this point in the arena. So today I'm going to work a little bit on turning, and I'm going to start trotting over that little log that's in there. And again, just constantly giving her a chance to go by the first time, watching her reaction, and then go by the second time and seeing if emotionally she starts to settle in at another level. Now, she already may be fantastic, but there's layers of calmness. It's like in meditation. There's a moment when you sit down and you're still awake in your body in a certain level. And then as you deepen in your emotion, in your meditation, the layer changes. So again, this is the same for the horse. Is she being correct and polite, but just barely hanging on emotionally, stillness-wise, or is she really settled? And again, these are the layers of awareness and training that are my responsibility as a custodian to check. Now I'm going the other way, so now we're training her right eye on all the obstacles. Was she willing to move by the open gate? Yep, no problem, because again, she's not looking for an out. Now we have our ladder as our trail obstacle. Great. She's good. Usually she can go by that, but it's in a different way, and the stuff underneath it got moved. So again, we have stuff training. Okay, she's getting an A so far. I'm going to change directions again. In a few moments, I'm going to circle around, and then I'm going to look at starting to add in trotting over the little piece of stump on the ground. So again, she's gone over that on the lunge line, and I want to see, is she nervous at all? Can she coordinate her stepping, rhythm, balance, weight distribution, flexibility, and step over the obstacle? Now that looks bloody well simple, doesn't it? But I have to say, from years of training horses, I get horses sent to me that actually already jump courses, and I couldn't do what Claire's doing. So it's really interesting, that they're funny about going over a pole on the ground because something's happened in the training that they become anxious, they change their rhythm, they don't know how to manage their feet. So all of this slow time right now of her understanding to manage herself, to manage me, because again, she's got this human strapped on her back, and that changes her balance. As a green horse, she's having to learn and strengthen how to lift her withers in the base of her neck while she's moving, because with that inner balance, she's going to have a much higher ability to carry me successfully up to an obstacle and over a jump and land, is if she learns how to rebalance her weight in the hindquarters. Okay? Now, I've never done this angle, so she's looking at the weirdness of the jump standard on the side, but she went. She stepped. She didn't balk. She didn't try to run out. She was just asking me for a moment to observe going over the log on the ground in an angle and a timing that she's never done before. I have no problem with that. I don't punish her. I'm happy that she's thinking, and that in her thinking that she's still quite willing. At this stage of development, I always feel like it's one of the most important parts of the development is to create a willingness in the horse, because if you don't have a willing, that time, perfect, look, rhythmical, stepping, positive. So again, she's being a mirror to show that I'm making good decisions for her speed of absorbing, changing, making decisions. I'm trying to do right by Claire. But back to the idea of willingness. I always feel like that is the most important part of the connection, is that I don't ruin the basic willingness of a horse. I think most horses, their design is willingness, just like us. We have a willingness as an innocence. And then something happens in the construction of life that takes away that willingness. So I feel like that's a very, very important seedling or seed to nurture, is basic willingness. When there's disturbances, the unknown is willingness. So right now I'm adding in a little bit of circling. Obviously when I'm riding around the outside, I can't make a circle as well. So I'm working on now, I feel like there's two levels of straightness in the horse. There's a relative straightness, which means I'm just going on a line, on a track. And to me, the highest level of straightness that I feel like dressage taught me what I call absolute straightness. And in absolute straightness, I'm looking at the inner throughness, straightness, symmetry, bend of the horse's construction while carrying me. With relative straightness, I'm just moving on a line somewhere. So for me in training, and again, I thank dressage for this, I try to couple the two together, the relative and the absolute straightness. So whether I'm going outside or inside, the amount of turn dictates how much relative straightness they need to make the turn. Most horses, you can pull on them or push them or all that. You can get somewhere on a line. But this inner balance is really the tricky part. And over the years now, I've found this is what I really need to pay attention to in my training. And if the horse has relative straightness, it has a much, much higher level of possibility for success. Going straight, staying rhythmical, carrying itself and me in a good weight distribution, and it increases their emotional calmness, because when they're balanced, everything's easier. Now, I so know this from dancing. If I dance with people, now I'm in high heels usually when I'm dancing too. If I'm dancing and somebody is pulling on me to get me to move somewhere, it makes me nervous because I'm getting unbalanced to move. It is so different to move with the idea of being invited and guided somewhere versus being pulled and pushed and unbalanced to move somewhere. So one of the big deals about having a horse responsive to the aids is so that the horse can move and react in a way to be guided somewhere and not unbalanced somewhere to get somewhere. Sometimes you have to use the unbalancing. But I always prefer at a higher level is, can I guide the horse inside of its balance to another step, to another moment inside of itself. So again, now I'm going outside the arena, refreshing, checking. Can we go by the bobcat? Can we go by the white fencing that's new? The car's back. All these things. She's doing great. A+ for Claire. Inside the arena, outside, dealing with life and being responsive. So I'm going to go back to the walk and call it quits. Thank you.